What's up, guys? This is yours truly, Empress Chassie Warmington, aka All That Chas, aka Lupus Slayer. I want to come to you guys today, this morning, and really, hopefully, say something that's going to really just make your mind absolutely just think for those who are in this entrapment of the government and the system. First and foremost, the government and the system that are set up has never ever been designed to help us. It's never been designed for that. It's always been designed to cripple us and disable us from becoming successful, from becoming financially independent, even just having freedom of being ourselves, being our own person. Because even though they have in the civil rights, as part of the Constitution of the Civil Rights, where the human rights of freedom of expression, when you do that, you still get in trouble with the law. So it's like these systems and governments are not designed to help us. They do not want to help you. They do not want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you survive. Just look at what is going on now. And if you really think this is just all of a sudden this happened, it has not just all of a sudden happened. You guys have to always, whenever there's things going on in the country, and I don't care what country you reside in, you need to always look at the history and what has happened in that country and how things has happened in that country. And when I was looking up this COVID-19, because I heard the word before coronavirus. We heard it before, but I couldn't remember exactly where I heard it from. But I remember hearing this word like maybe like 2004, 2005, and I couldn't put my finger on it. So, of course, I do my own research and my own investigation. And I discovered that it is from World War I, World War II. When the Japanese bombed the Chinese with biochemical weaponry, and with them doing that, it caused SARS, which is a acute respiratory issue syndrome, and then from there it created coronavirus. So this isn't something that has just started. This isn't a situation that just started. As a matter of fact, the article that I read today, I can't remember who posted it, but it was somebody on Facebook that posted it, and it came through my news feed. And in that news feed, now, mind you, I don't know, because I know Facebook doesn't always show you, people's postings because I don't see a lot of people's postings that I'm friends with, and it's like crazy. I rarely see a lot of people's postings. Hey Robin, how are you, Javette? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks everybody who's watching. I can't see who's watching. Yeah, it's been around. So I did a post. I actually posted the actual patterns for this SARS and this coronavirus from 1993. This isn't a new thing. So it's like, I know when I was growing up, we did not depend on the government, excuse me, like that to do things for us. Yeah, there was the government cheese and there was food stamps back then, and a lot of families did depend on it and had to use it. But we were not dependent, if per se, on the government. What we did, just about all the neighbors planted gardens. Even if they lived in apartment complexes, they planted gardens. They had some kind of herbal garden. Hey, Roz. Hey, Bossy. Thanks for watching, Bossy Casey. Thank you. Hey, DJ. How are you? Even though some of us wasn't raised in homes. Thank God I was raised in a house. But we would plant gardens all the time. And we would always exchange. Okay, how many cups of flour you need? 2 cups of flour. Okay, 2 cups of flour. Okay, and I give you 6 tomatoes, or two tomatoes, 2 cucumbers. Hey, DJ Juice. It's like we always depended on each other. But now people have become so dependent upon the government and these leaders who, a lot of them don't even be from the states that they're governing over, or have lived in the communities that they're governing over, or that they're commissioners in, they're senators in and stuff. They have not, they don't know the background as far as the people, and watch how the community came together and built up. And I don't understand why this seems to be so hard for a lot of people to do nowadays. I don't understand where this huge segregation is coming from. And don't you know, I want you all to really think about too with this coronavirus. What it's doing as well is dividing up people too. It's keeping us apart because they know that with unity, there's strength. So how can they cripple unity? Is create a disease. Well, I won't even say create a disease, but release a disease that had been existing since World War One, okay, and World War Two. This is not new. Excuse me. So they put this divide there, make people fear and panic so that we can't even reach out to each other and help each other out, because people are so scared they're going to get it if you get close to them that they don't even want you next to them. You got the man who killed the elderly lady, the 84-year-old lady in the hospital, in the ER, because, she's not really understanding what this social distancing is. So she got a little too close to this other patient who became paranoid, and he took the railing of the IV that the IV bag was on, and he bashed her to death. Like, seriously, like just doing crazy stuff. So that's what they want to do. They want to keep us divided. They don't even want us to be able to help each other out. So you know why? Because again, they're not stupid. They know, all right, if we can instill fear, how do people control people with fear? All the time. They do it. That's the oldest tactic in the book. Everybody uses it, even us as parents. We've used it with our children. If you don't do this, if you don't do that, you're going to get under punishment. You're going to get your ass beat. It's always some kind of scare tactic in church. Oh, if you don't do this, you don't do that, you're going to hell, you're going to burn. It's always a tactic. The government, oh, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, then, you're going to be going to jail, going to prison. That's federal violation because you breaking what the law says and stuff, and the police. It's always some kind of scare tactic that they use to control and manipulate people. And because they know a lot of people do not read and don't understand or know history, they take advantage of that. But I had posted the patents, literally all of the patents that I could find for this COVID-19 from back in from 19. I think the earliest one. Now they started it, but when it was finally approved, I think the first one was like in 1993. If you go to the USPTO.gov. It's on the website. And the thing is, I did not use any third-party websites. And you know why? Because when you use third-party websites, people will be very skeptical. They already going to be skeptical when you have the direct resources. But if you're using a third-party URL, a third-party website, they definitely not going to believe you. So I posted this on my wall like last month, some from last month, some from earlier this month. But I was putting the information out there to tell people, look, this is not a new virus. This is not something that just new and just suddenly came up. And I'm going to tell you, you think about majority of the people who has died from COVID, they didn't die because they were at home. They died because they were in the hospitals. And guess why? Remember, the hospitals could not facilitate all of the people. So they were reusing respirators. They were reusing the oxygen tubes. They reusing stuff. So what do you think? It's a lot of infection and bacteria going on in those things, So, of course, people unfortunately would die from the COVID in more of a rapid rate than before. But guess what? Again, you have to understand history. There's just so much that I can tell. I'm trying to break it down as briefly as I possibly can. Say if you go back to World War II, And then and you read about SARS and everything. Now, the United States, they wanted to use, they wanted to do what the Japanese did, but what they wanted to do, they wanted to make a love bomb. Have you all ever heard of the love bomb? If you are in the military, if you are, or you know, any veterans or anything in the military, I mean, like some real back then the day vets, ask them about the love bomb. The love bomb was a bomb that the United States, and I'm telling you, all of this stuff is public records. It's on the government sites. It's on whitehouse.gov. You can find them on archives.gov. You go find them on uspto.gov. It's not LOC, Library of Congress.gov. This is where I get my resources from, my information. That way, nobody can say, oh, well, you know, it's the third party. And another thing that you all didn't know, probably didn't know, some of you all, that Google holds all the patents. They have copies of all patents in the world. It doesn't matter what country, what nation. If there's anything that's patent, Google has it. So what you can do, you can type in patents, coronavirus patents. It's going to always show you the most newest ones that's out there. So you're going to see the most recent ones, but just keep scrolling down, and you're going to find yourself going into 1996, 1993, 1980, and you're going to be like stunned to see that this is not a new virus, and that it did not just suddenly come out. It did not suddenly come out from bats, like they're lying and trying to make it seem like it came out from bats. It was something that was created by the Japanese. They're the ones that first created this. I won't say they created the virus, but they created a bomb, a biochemical bomb, weapons that caused SARS, and from SARS, coronavirus was created. So this has been going on since World War I and World War II. So again, you have to understand history. Don't be such in panic where you're just listening to everybody else. You know, you seeing this, you seeing that. Do your own research. I always tell people that, even when I tell people stuff, I say go find it for yourself. I try to always provide resources, like wherever resources I use. I always try to provide that for others too, so they can go and read the exact same information that I read, so they can see, okay, this is where she got this information from. But not even only that, I mean, how uncles that was in war, and I remember they used to talk about things, you know, things that they experienced in Vietnam, you know, in war. That's what it is. The Vietnam War is where the United States wanted to use the love bomb, and they wanted to use this love bomb, which is a biochemical weaponry, because they saw how the weapons for Japan, when they bombed when the Japanese bombed the Chinese people back in during World War I, World War II. Hey Keith, hey Albert, thanks guys for watching. They saw what effect it had, but the downfall of that is that it also affected American soldiers, French soldiers, European soldiers as well. It didn't just affect the Chinese soldiers, because remember, they already had camp in in China, in the USA, and in France. They had soldiers there. They had stations there. So it affected their soldiers as well. And that's why all of these scientists got together, because if you look on the patents, you will see people, the French, you will see scientists of USA, scientists of Japan, scientists of China. They all got together, or the UK, they all got together, and they was trying to figure out how can we, find a solution for this condition, because it killed, and I know this sounded very exaggerated, but again, you guys can go and research it yourself on archives.gov. It killed I think a little over 500 million people, because see, they didn't have the technology that we have now. So people was just getting it. Like, they were dying. They were dropping like flies. Like, I mean, dying in the drools. Like, we're looking at the numbers and we thinking, wow, this is a lot, which it is. Don't get me wrong. But imagine 500 million people dying. And guess what? It depopulated the world. And that's how a lot of these rich companies, these millionaires and billionaires, that's how a lot of them became rich and became billionaires, because they were able to take advantage of, of people's calamities, because these people don't die. These lands and resources was available, and they were able to capitalize on them, and they seized them really quick. They didn't let us know though, but they seized them real quick. So I'm just telling you, all of this stuff that's going on now is not new. It's not something that just started happening. And what I was going to say earlier is, as I was doing my research about the coronavirus, I noticed a pattern. It seemed like every 10 years it was always something. You got to go all the way back to like the 1800s, where it was the Black Death disease, the Black Death disease virus. What was some kind of flu? I can't think of it. It wasn't the swine flu. It was kind of like the swine flu, but it was something else. It was, pox. It was the pox disease that came out. The pox, which is called the Black Death. That was in the 1800s. Then they had another that started with I can't pronounce the word, but it started with the T. This came out for coffins because, they didn't do embalming at the time, when people died and stuff on the ships that they used to kidnap Africans and bring them into slavery. And when a lot of them would die on the ships and stuff, they would, just let their bodies, they'll put them in the coffins and they just let them stay there and rot. But they didn't realize the toxins out of the body was creating these bacteria and this virus that would get onto the casket, and then a lot of people died from that. So this stuff, it has been a repetitive thing. The H1N1 that happened in 1999, then 1999, 2000, and 2010. It was wait a minute, which one came first? Was the West Niles or the Ebola, which that came back around twice. The Ebola came back around twice. So did the swine flu come back around twice. The H1N1. Then they had the West Niles. Then they had now this corona. It's like every 10 years, every decade, it's always something. And if you actually just look at the pattern, you would see that this is something that just constantly happened, because and another thing that I really want you all to pay attention to as well is when you listen to the reports of a lot of the governments, when you hear about how they talk about the food shortage, how can they sustain and be able to manage the country, be able to feed the people, be able to take care of the people. If you notice that they always, when they talk about these kind of things, and it's like different countries are talking about it, like China was talking about, their country has become too overly populated. And for those who are soldiers or those who have ever been to China or have been to Japan, if you notice, hey Trey, how are you? Thanks for watching. If you notice, they live in these really small apartments. These apartments, this room, I would say the closet, my walk-in closet would be the size of one apartment, because their apartments are very small, from like anywhere from, some of them are as small as 300 square feet. And I know you like, how can you live in a 300 square foot unit? They're small, they're real small people, but even still, they have units that are literally that small. These are apartments. And so you got a lot of people that live there, and they complained about, it becoming overpopulated. And that's why China also have a law where, you can only have one child. I don't know if it's necessarily enforced, because I know Chinese people in China that have more than one children, they have to get permission from the government to have multiple children. But yet it's still, bottom line, what I'm saying is there is a pattern with this, and they always talk about overpopulation, talking about they scared, one of the things that was said back in the 1990s that if there was too many people in the world, they will be able to overthrow the government. So the government will have to take measures to eliminate that problem, to prevent that problem from happening. What do? They create viruses. They let the viruses do the work. That way they can be like, we didn't do anything. Oh, we're innocent. No, they're not innocent. And now the government is trying to put all this. First, they tried to put the blame on the doctor in Harvard. I forgot his name, but then they're trying to put it on Dr. Fauci, who who's only doing what they told him to do. That's why they hired him in the first place, is to do this research on this virus. Because if you go back to where the patent shows for the coronavirus, I believe it's the 1993 one. I think that's the one that it shows. It was 1993. The 2000. I think I getting it mixed up. It's either the 2003 or the 1993. I want to say it was the 1993 or the 1996, right in between there. But the same vaccination they use to treat people who has HIV and that have AIDS, guess where that vaccination came from? The coronavirus vaccination. There's a patent for it. It's always been in existence. It's not something that's just new, that just came up at the blue. So again, you all have to do your own research. Don't panic and watch the news, because I'm going to tell you, the news will only tell you what the government wants it to tell you. You guys got to understand, the news media, these major news media outlets are regulated by the federal government, okay? So there's just only certain things that they can tell. They'll let the media tell a lot of truths, but at the same time, they'll twist it, or they'll manipulate it, or they don't tell all of the truth, or they'll, twist the truth a little bit. As they say, tell a little white lie. No, it's not a little white lie. It's a big fat ass lie. That's what it is. And if you do your own research, and I'm telling you guys where to go to archives.gov, go to uspto.gov, go on google.com and type in patents for coronavirus, because Google holds all the patents in the world. Go to loc.gov, that is Library of Congress, and you will see this information for yourselves. And the thing about it is, more people are rather panic and listen to the news than to do their own study and research. It's free information for everybody to access. And I don't want you all to be discouraged from helping your fellow neighbors, even if you don't want to deal directly face to face with a person. You can put something, buy cans, canned goods and some produce or whatever, and put it, or get some from your garden and put it on your neighbor's doorstep or whatever. Just reach out to each other, because I'm telling you, this is what they do not want. They do not want us to be able to help each other out, because they know where there's unity, there's strength. So the best way to keep us from helping each other sustain through this crisis that they have created, this fake pandemic that they have created, is to try to keep us divided, keep us from interacting directly one-on-one with each other. So now a lot of things have to be virtually like this, or you have to have 6 feet of space in front of you and the person. They don't want you to be, have that unity, that bond. And this is not the first time this has happened. This isn't the second time. This isn't the third time. This is not even the fourth time that this has happened, okay? So again, understand the history of things. And when you understand the history of things, then it will make you more conscious, but you won't have that fear. Like, a lot of people really still just panicking, and they still just have a lot of fear, because there are people who are still dying from the coronavirus, but a lot of them that dies in the hospital from the respirators. But they don't tell you that. So what they do is just make it seem like it's the coronavirus. And you have some people that have underlying health issues. Somebody posted that even this morning. It was like, that's true. Luke Kane, he posted that this morning, how people have other underlying health issues, but because it's so easy just to say it's coronavirus, that's what they're putting things on. And you got people that's dying from heart attacks, dying from kidney failure, they dying for heart disease, different other conditions that don't have anything to do with coronavirus, but guess what? They're going to put it on coronavirus. So just be careful with the information that you're getting, and make sure that if you get any information that you're able to research this information and find it for yourself. When I showed it to my mom, she was just like, wow, her eye just got so big because I'm showing her on the government's website all of this stuff, all of these patents that is out for this coronavirus that's been out for decades. It's been out for quite a few, several decades now. It's not something that's new under the sun. And so she knew, because my uncles on my mom's side are the ones, I have some that fought in the Vietnam War. So they know what's going on. And, I have the jacket of one of my uncles. I have the jacket and the cap from his Vietnam, when he was in the Vietnam War, that they wore. So it's just like crazy how all of this stuff is going on. And a lot of people really don't see the bigger picture, because what they doing is they're trying to hammer you with so much fear of the coronavirus that you don't even see the bigger picture of what's going on, that they're intentionally depopulating, doing a genocide. Not only are they doing a genocide, depopulating the world, they're also trying to, I won't say trying to, but they are poisoning even more food. All of a sudden, now meats are all of a sudden poisoned. You can't even hardly eat anything. What do you all think this is all about? They're seeing what is happening is the United States, which they don't have to do. They've been borrowing money from China for so long, and they in debt to China, but at the same time they end up in debt to the UK as well, and to France. But because they're like that, they're not going to go after the United States, and they're not going to be as demanding with the United States as they are with China. But China, what they're doing is they're lashing it out on us. We didn't do anything to you. You need to go to the White House, because we haven't been in the White House like that to be messing up no laws and screwing up nothing. We haven't been in office like that. I hate to say it, and I'm not, I hope nobody don't take it offensively or whatever, because it's not being racist, it's being realistic. We have not. Outside of John Henson, Barack Obama is the only other melanin president, a person that's been in a presidential position for the United States of America. Even before the United States, when the United States was converted into America, to the United States, it was a colony, but it was in conversion to the United States. That's when John Henson was president. And don't you know that even the first Statue of Liberty in New York, in the USA, was a melanin woman, but the immigrants, the European immigrants, felt offended by it, and they didn't want a melanin woman as the liberty, as representing freedom. So because we still had not been free, liberated by the races, so they were still selling us and our ancestors and stuff, and they still had license to have slaves and all of that stuff, kidnap, which I like to call kidnap people, doctors and lawyers. That's who they were kidnapping. They was kidnapping neurosciences and diet and doctors and lawyers and nurses, because these are human beings who they kidnapped and forced into slavery. So had they not, they probably would have became, this superior person, or accomplish their goals and dreams in life, to be a entrepreneur, or had some type of occupational career other than being forced to be a slave. So all of this stuff goes way back then. And I know it sounds ludicrous to some people. It only sounds ludicrous to you if you don't study and if you don't know history and if you don't care to know history. If it's not something that interests you, then yeah, it's going to sound really redundant. It's going to sound ridiculous. It's going to sound foolish. It's going to sound exaggerated. It's going to sound all those things to you because you're not aware and you haven't been in the loop to know these things. And it has never been something that has struck your interest until now. And even still, when I'm giving you resources or other people are giving you resources, a lot of these people will still want to argue about it and want to combat. I don't combat about the truth, especially when I have given you the resources where you can go in and prove me wrong. Because the same information that I'm giving you is the same information that is on the sites that I gave to you. And it's not a third-party site. It's right on the federal government websites. Go and look for it for yourself. You'll see the same information. I'm not making it up, not fabricating anything. But they don't want us to help each other out. If you have an apartment, you live in an apartment, you can get, I should have left it in here. What I did is, I don't know how many people use like the big liquid detergent, liquid detergents. You can take those containers once they're empty, clean them out really good. You got to wash them out really good because the smell will still be on it. But either way, you still want to line those containers with, plastic garbage bag or something. But keep those, cut the top off of them with a razor, like I did, and you can use those as a plant pot to grow your own herbs, to grow your own kale, your own tomatoes. Get you a big tub like they have from the at the Walmart or something, or you could buy used plant holders and stuff, plant pots. A lot of people just give them away. I'm telling you, I be finding free stuff all the time. I go on Marketplace here on Facebook. Y'all know about Marketplace? I be getting all kind of free stuff. I sure do. But there are options, and they're intentionally poisoning because they don't see that we're dying off with the chemicals that they've already put in the food as it is. We're not dying fast enough for them. We're costing them a lot of money. And the United States in debt to China, which they didn't have to be because all they had to do is plenty of acres of land where the United States, anytime they know they're going to cut down a tree, they need to start planting trees because it can take trees, 20 years, 10 to 20 years to really grow and mature. So if they know they want to cut down trees and they need it to print out money, then just how they own forests. They didn't have to have no business with the China. That's why when the United States talk about they broke, they don't have no money, that's a damn lie. They have acres of land where all they use those trees for is to cut down and make money. And they replant them. They grow faster in China. That's probably another reason, because the trees actually grow faster there. And they have more land because the United States so stupid, they want to tear down. They let builders and these construction companies come and management companies, they tear down all of the trees, knock down all the trees and build expensive homes that people can't afford to live in anyway. So whatever. But I just want to say that, let you all know not to be afraid like that. Don't live in fear. Because when you know what's really going on and what the real deal is, you can then prepare yourself. You can't prepare yourself when you're fearing. And again, help each other out. Don't pay attention to the news and all of that stuff. They're trying to discourage you from helping people out. You don't have to be directly in personal contact with someone to help them. You can leave a box of groceries on their doorstep, and put a note on their door to let them know that, you left it on there. Or you can, how go on Facebook, whatever, see if anybody in your community need anything, personal hygiene items or whatever. And if you're able to afford to get some, or if you have a nonprofit and you're able to get some, go help people out. Just go and help people. we're all we have. The government has clearly shown us this. They've been showing us this for several years. For this isn't just started. They've been showing us this for centuries. We're all we have. They don't want to help us. They don't care to help us. You know? Hi Tyrone, how are you? They don't care to help us. We have to help ourselves, so we have to help each other. Stop. A lot of people like I don't know the full story, because I did see somebody mention something about the U.S. postal worker who got killed because somebody said that she brought their stimulus check late, so they killed her. Now, hey Wayne, how are you? I'm not sure what the backstory is, but someone mentioned something about something that she had posted on her wall. I don't care what this lady posted. They shouldn't have killed her over a stimulus check. This stimulus check has gotten people going crazy. Let me tell you something. If you're not good at budgeting money, that stimulus check isn't going to do you no good anyway. Because a lot of people are living in debt because they don't know how to budget money. Not because they've been in a crisis like identity theft and had to rebuild and stuff. I actually went through that and I had to rebuild. It took about 10.5 years for me to really rebuild, because they took a lot of money. I saved up a lot of money. I was going to buy a house just by straight out cash. And they took all this money, and it was an inside job. It wasn't somebody on the outside hacking. It was people that worked inside the bank that was hacking people's account, and my account was one of those accounts that got hacked because of the amount of money that I had in my savings. But anyway, they don't want us to help each other. They don't care about us. Look at how the governors are acting now. Iowa governor, Miss Robin Javette. If you guys follow her, Robin Javette, she has a radio. She has a really nice Real Talk Robin radio show. You guys really want to tune in. She be having some serious intellectual and deep dialogue and controversial subjects and topics. I love her show. I just be sleeping most time when she have them because I'm on a backward sleep schedule. But listen to her, follow her when you get a chance, and she be have some really adept stuff. But she did a post about Iowa governor threatening the residents, of Iowa, telling them if they don't go back to work, they're not going to be able to get unemployment. Yet people are still dying at rapid rates from coronavirus. But you're threatening these people, the residents that you're supposed to govern over and watch over, to go back to work, or they're not going to be able to get unemployment. So it's just like, people, stop taking shit off your government. Sue them. You can sue your state government. Hey Vicky, thanks for watching, darling. Thanks, Empress. You can sue your government. And I don't understand why people are so afraid to sue their government. I have seen people literally hawk people down on social media and tell them, let's meet up somewhere. Let's meet me at the ad. Meet me at the ad. They go, they meet people at the ad, and then they meet people at other places, to fight folks that they don't even know because they post something that they didn't like, or they took offense to something that they posted, or they commented on the one that they post, or even a lot of times it don't even be their post, it be somebody else's post. Like, why are you getting so upset at somebody's comment on somebody else's post when the comment is not even about you, unless you're guilty of whatever it is that they stated? But you got people that are so quick to want to fight each other over BS, but they won't stand up to their government. You know why? Because they can't just swing and scream and having this emotional tantrum on each other. You can't go and do that on your governor and on the judges and stuff like that. You have to use your head. You got to use logic. And a lot of people don't want to use logic. And then it's a process, and people don't want to take their time because it's a process. So they if it's not a quick microwave resolution, they don't want to deal with it. but they'll go out here and fight everybody in the world. You know, and I know you guys have seen it. I know you all probably even seen the post. I forgot if the girl was in Florida and one was in Georgia or something. It was one of them states, but I think the girl from, was it the girl from Florida? I think she came up to the state of Georgia to fight a girl that she never even met, never seen before over a freaking post or a comment on a post. Are you kidding me? But this is the mentality that a lot of people have chosen to have. And everybody's just like perfectly complacent. They're, you know, and fine with it. They're just like, okay, it's the government. They're going to do what they want to do. You know why they do what they want to do? Because too many of us have become perfectly complacent and comfortable with being perfectly complacent. They know that you're not going to fight them back. It's just like a bully. If a bully know you're not going to fight them back, they just what? They get worse. They do more crap to you. And that's what the government is doing. Because they see, oh, they ain't going to fight us back. We can do whatever we want to do to them. And that's what they do. But we just sitting here twirling our thumbs, not doing anything but living in fear, shaking the damn knees and stuff, knees knocking in fear, looking for a stimulus check. You know, trying to figure out how we're going to survive. No. We have all the power. We make them. And then they actually hurt themselves because if we're not working, they're not going to have, quote unquote, tax money, which is really ridiculous. All it is for money for them to play with. They don't even have to charge us taxes. You know that, right? They don't have to charge us taxes. They can always use money that they can have money that they can use solely for certain things. They can cut and print money for solely what they need to. They don't need our tax dollars, our tax money. That's another way of controlling. It's another way of manipulating the system to control us. We don't need taxes. We don't need to even ever pay interest. All of these things came from a European guy, a European immigrant that moved to the United States and decided to come up with all these ideas because he found a way to give us, okay, we'll let them work and we'll give them a salary, but we're going to also take out, you know, this amount. We're going to take out at least 10 to 15% of what they get. Sometimes some of them we may take out 20% of what they earn to play around with the money, do what we want to do with it. Because to be honest, most of us who are here in this country, in the USA, we were born in the USA. It wasn't our choice. So you're going to penalize me by charging me taxes for living in a country that I didn't ask to be born in. But I'm here and I'm making the best of it. But you don't have the right to penalize me for it because that's what they're doing. And we're perfectly fine and complacent. We just sit back and let them do it. Because it's not an easy fight. It's not an easy fight. But just help each other out. We're all we have. And just to reiterate, when I was a little girl, we used to help each other out. Everybody in the neighborhood and in the community, we helped each other out. The children will hop on their bike with the baskets on them, and we'll take food to people who need it. We looked out for the elderly and the sick people and the disabled people in our community. We knew who they were, where they lived, and we checked on them weekly, made sure they had food, made sure they had their laundry done, made sure their lawn was cut. You know, all of this stuff, I don't know, we have gotten so away from it because of technology. They said, oh, the technology make you stop using common sense and common courtesy. Technology isn't stopping you from doing that. You're doing it because you want to do it. So some things we got to get back to. And one of those things is helping each other, looking out for one another. And it's really sad that there are so many people, I noticed even through what's going on now, this pandemic, there are more people still, they're more willing to pull you down than to build you up. They don't want to support your business because you're this complexion, because You know, you're not of a certain ethnicity, so you can't do their nails. They don't want to buy hair from you because you're not, you know, you don't have a beauty supply store. So there's certain stuff they're not going to want to buy from you. Oh, your prices are higher. Your price, and they will continue to be higher if we don't look out for each other and watch out for each other and help each other out. Like, come on, we see that we don't get the same treatment. We know this, and the same opportunities. The two young girls in California were young ladies in California. This Korean hair company in Korea did not. They stopped when they found out that the store was owned by two melanin women. You know what they did? They stopped selling to them. They stopped being a distributor for them. They stopped distributing to them. Hey, Melissa, how are you, my love? Thanks for watching. They stopped distributing to them because they don't want us to be a competition. But we busy competing against each other, and you have more people that would rather be your competitor than to build you up and help you. And the thing about it is, a lot of times it's people who don't even want to be in the same industry as you are. They don't want to sell hair. They don't want to be the supply store. They don't want a bakery. They don't want, you know, a car dealership or whatever. Love you too, sis. You're welcome. They don't want, you know, they don't want the same kind of business that you have. But at the same time, they don't want to help you build up. They don't want to try to show you any support. Like if you have a car dealership, they won't send friends to your dealership. They'll send them to somebody else's dealership. You know, it's just like, I don't understand this mentality. Me personally, I really honestly try to support my friends. I don't spend a lot of money because I don't need a lot of stuff. Like, I'm a very simple person. I don't need all these handbags. I don't have to have all these shoes and all this jewelry and all of this stuff. And, you know, I'm a very simple person. But we still like to try to support my friends, my true friends, and try to support them as often as we can. And whenever I'm able to, I support them. Not just being there for them, but monetarily as well. But we won't do that for each other, and I just don't get it. I don't understand why. What is the problem? You know, you rather see somebody held back and hold somebody back just to be evil and vindictive than to see them progress and soar and do good. And the mentality of that is really sickening. And that's what's really crippling us as a nation. The government isn't crippling us as a nation. We're crippling each other as a nation because we don't want to support each other. Because it doesn't have Dolce and Gabbana. You look at all of these major name companies, Gucci, all of these people. You think any of these folks have reached out to their faithful supporters and followers and done anything for them, try to pay any of their bills up for a whole year? They rent or they mortgage it for a whole year, buy them new cars. They don't give a fat rat ass about us, okay? But a lot of people will go out there, they spend all their money. Louis Vuitton, Chanel, all of these people, these companies, they don't care. But you got a man or a woman, a neighbor down that's a house away from you or down the street or around the corner that make real nice handbags, make real nice shoes, make real nice jewelry, make real nice clothes. But because they don't have a major name tag on them, they're not this major name brand, you don't want to support them even though it's good. The clothes is good. The bags are good. It's a great quality. You still don't want to support them because you're caught up in a name brand. Of name brand and people that don't even give a damn about you. And it's really pathetic. It's so sad. And you still got a lot of people worrying about stuff like that now. We in a daggone crisis, and you got people on here literally whining about they can't go shopping, they can't get these sunglasses and all this stuff. These Ray-Ban don't care about your ass. Gucci don't care about you. Okay? Coach don't care about you. Guests don't care about you, and you worrying about all of this stuff, all this materialistic stuff. These folks do not care about you. You going through a crisis. Ain't none of the, not a single one I haven't seen any of them come with no mobile bill full of food in any community setting up to give to anybody. Even hardly none of the celebrities either that a lot of people follow and admire. I love Cardi B, but Cardi B just spent over what $2 million, $2 million, something like that dollars on her daughter's birthday, which I understand is her child and some money she do what she want to do. But I'm saying she got a lot of fans out here, people that are loyal fans and supporters. Do you think she gonna pay any of them bills or offer to pay a light bill for them, a cable bill, a phone bill, a mobile phone bill? She haven't offered, no. So all I'm saying is we got to get our minds right and stop being so vain. Get our priorities together. But you want to support this person down the street or this neighbor next to you who makes stuff. You know? Because it's not a major name brand. It's not popular. So, it probably will be one day. And then you're going to be sitting there looking crazy. Yeah. But we got to get it together. Do your own research. I gave y'all the links. I'm going to say it again before I end this video. Archive.gov. The next one is uspto.gov. loc.gov. Google.com. And why did I say Google.com? Because Google holds all patents of the world. Every patent in the world is held by Google. For those who didn't know that. So you all take care and look out for each other. And just pay attention to what's going on, because it's not this pandemic that's just a distraction. I really need you all to open your eyes to see what's really going on. And once you start researching and you start seeing the history, you start seeing a pattern of how things is happening in this country and in some of the other countries that are also have had pandemics, then you'll understand what's really going on. And I'm telling you now, I'm just going to go ahead and prepare you. It is going to be very painful. You're not going to really, when you read it, you're not going to want to believe it. You'll be like, why would they want to kill us? Why do they want to just take us out like that? Why do they just want to destroy us? We're guinea pigs. They've been doing human experiments on people for centuries. It's not the first time. They've been doing that. It's not the first time. And then they want to depopulate because we've become too overly populated. Too much for the government to handle is how they put it. They said that the government, it'll be too many people for the government to handle. So we become a liability for them. And because we're a liability for them, they don't want to deal with it. They want to get rid of us. If you don't believe me, just research for yourself. Nothing new under the sun, baby. Nothing. And when you find out, share it with somebody else. Let them know. Okay? You guys have a great morning. I'm finna go to bed. As I told you, I'm on a backward sleep schedule. So it's my bedtime now. God bless, one love, peace. Thank you for your support. Oh, and please subscribe to my new YouTube channel. Z for zebra, H for hotel, E for elephant, E for echo, N for November, space, LLC. That's Zine LLC. That's my new YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get at least 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible so that we can really start bringing you all more in-depth footage and information, because it's not just with this, but even with entrepreneurship, home ownership, different grants and loans that are out there. It's a lot of information that I want to share that I have learned throughout the years, or recently learned, and have applied it. And that's the thing. Like if I research something, I like to apply it to my own situation or my own life first before I share it with somebody else, especially when it comes to buying homes and cars and auctions and things like that. I like to experience it myself so that I can let you all know. But with YouTube, doing YouTube live videos, I will actually be able to let you all see me actually in the process doing, hear the phone calls and hear all of, and watch me go through the whole process. That's what I want, so that you all can know what you're going to be up against and what is going to be expected of you, and what it all details. And it varies from state to state, of course, because some states have different laws than others. So it all depends on your state as well. That can make a difference between you being able to get this type of grant or that type of grant, get a home. Because right now I'm doing study for, I've been doing my research. All the grants right now are frozen, but I can go in person. Thank you, love. But I can go in person to the SBA, that Small Business Association. It's not just for business loan, but did you know, I know here in the state of Georgia, they have courses and classes that you can take with the Small Business Administration. And when you go through those classes, you will automatically get a federal grant for your business. If you have your business outside, you work from your home for your business, guess what? You get that house, whatever house you want. It doesn't even matter. It's not a specific size. You know, if it's a house, if that's what you need and that's what you want and you want to work out of it for your business, you can get the house. And depending on how much portion of the house you would be using, depends on how much grant they'll give you. Now, they're probably not going to buy the house outright for you. But if you're going to be using 30% of your home for your business, like even for storage or whatever, then they would, whatever the cost is of the house itself, they'll give you 30% of that money. So if the house is like $280,000, you'll get 30% of the $280,000 from the federal government if you go through these classes with the Small Business Administration. That's here in Georgia. It's downtown Atlanta, 223 Peachtree Street in downtown Atlanta. And they have different suites. It all depends on what the classes that you go to, depends on what suite you go to. But you can look that up for yourself as well on sba.gov, and you can find it yourself. So right now, they're not taking any registration for the classes because of the corona. They don't do any classes online. You have to go there in person to take these classes. So, yeah. The link, which link? I probably did, but I probably haven't been able to check it. When are you seeing it, Lisa? But yeah, so just I'm going to be doing, that's what I'm going to be doing also on my YouTube. I'm going to not just only interviewing celebs for y'all or, very fascinated people. And another thing I want to do is people who have small businesses, independent businesses. I definitely want to be interviewing them. If you have a small business and you want to get more exposure, let me know. Send it to my email. You can send it to not info. Oh, you can send it to social media at zinellc.com. Okay, social media at zinellc.com. You can send an email there if you're interested in being interviewed on my channel, so you can get exposure, because y'all gotta understand Facebook is not my only platform. I have a lot of people that follow me. I mean, like news anchors, award-winning news anchors and reporters on my Twitter. I have radio podcasts, very popular radio podcasts that have interview tons of celebrities and politicians and stuff that follow me. I mean, like actively follow me, like they be liking my tweets and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff that I do on the outside that people don't see. I don't put a lot of stuff out on the forefront because I'm not a flashy person. I'm not a showboat type person. I'm very reserved. To be honest, I'm kind of introverted, believe it or not. As outgoing as I'm a very introverted person at the same time. So there's a lot of people that I deal with that you all don't even know that I deal with, not just here in the United States, but in other nations and countries too, that I deal with very high profile people and people who actually have links to those people and stuff. And again, I don't say that like, ooh, put you on the pedestal. No, it's not anything like that. I'm just saying that interviewing people have, I know for me, have been very refreshing and humbling, and to learn about other people's businesses and what they have going on and stuff like that. Because I'm gonna tell you, any exposure is exposure. I don't care if you don't know it. You be like, oh, only one person looking, only 10 people looking, but you don't know out of those 10, they may have connections to people who can give you open that you can link up with and open that door for you. So don't look at numbers. I keep telling people that you can't look at numbers. All it takes is that one person. You just need that one person, that one solid connection. That's all you need. And you don't know if that one person that's watching is that direct connection. You don't know. So don't get caught up in numbers. I keep telling people that I've never been like that. I don't care if it's only 2 people sitting there. I went to an event, and I kid you not, it was like only 4 people there, including myself, that showed up to this event. But out of the 4 people that was there, I ended up meeting this professor of a college, and this man has he's have worked with people like Tupac, the late Tupac, bless his heart, So I'm just like, wow, who'd have known? And this guy is very informative. He's very educational. And he taught me a whole lot. I learned a lot from him. And the information that I needed to know was from him. Had me not gone to the event, or had I just looked and only saw just those few people in there and turned around and left, I wouldn't have engaged in conversation with this professor. And I wouldn't have gotten the information that I was seeking and looking for the longest, that nobody else wanted to give to me who had the information. But you got a lot of people like that. They are no stopper. They don't want to share it with you. But he wasn't like that. And because he shared the information with me, I was able to get the information that I needed to get some answers and get some things taken care of that I need to have taken care of. So don't look at numbers. Stop doing that. Y'all people be missing out on their blessings doing that mess. All right, I'm done for real this time. God bless, one love, peace, and thank you very much for your support. And you all have a great day, and try to stay dry. It's storming out here right now, and I'm definitely going to sleep extra good with this storm. Peace.